Hi everyone, thank you so much for making it to your mat today. This is your Yin Yoga practice for this month with me, Lucy Foster Perkins. We're going to be stretching out the hips, the legs and the arms and shoulders and chest today. So kind of an all-round stretch today. You're going to need a jumper or a strap or a towel, just anything you can make into a sort of makeshift strap. So a jumper is a good option. And also a cushion. So grab those before you start your practice, and we'll come all the way down to lying on the back when you're ready. Come to a mini Shavasana before we get going, so just allow the whole body to lie down onto the mat with the feet slightly wider than hip distance, the hands away from the body and the eyes are closed. Take some deep breaths into the depths of the belly here. Signaling to the body that we've arrived in our practice, that you've arrived on your mat. And taking any thoughts of anything that's happened in the day so far, or anything that may or may not happen for the rest of the day, and just put them in a little box somewhere else. So you don't have to concern yourself with any of those during this practice. If you need to revisit them later, you can. But we're just focusing on this present moment. A couple more deep breaths here. Maybe choosing an intention for today's practice. This is what makes our yoga practice particularly different to other physical practices, is the intention that we bring to it. And actually, if you bring this intention, maybe it's to connect with the breath, maybe it's to give this time for yourself, then any form of physical activity can be yoga. So let's make our intention today to focus on how our body is in this moment. And this might be different from other moments. In fact, it will be. Take another deep inhale, sealing this intention into the body. And exhale. Drawing the knees to the chest. Hugging them in, maybe finding stillness here as you breathe into the thighs, or maybe finding a little rock from side to side. And then grabbing your strap or your makeshift strap, so this is my jumper, and taking the strap around the left sole of the foot. The right foot can come to the ground, or you can extend that right leg down to the earth if it feels better, whatever feels good for you. And then gently lifting the left heel towards the sky so that we find a stretch down the back of the left hamstring. You can have this left leg as bent as it needs to. So this pose will look different from body to body. So it really does not matter what it looks like. What you want to feel is the stretch. One of the good sayings in yoga is, if you're feeling it, you're doing it. It really does not matter what you look like. And we're going to stay in this stretch for a couple of minutes. Keeping the breath nice and long so you continue to tell the body that it's safe. When we're feeling anxious or worried, our breath gets quicker and the body begins to tighten up. So we want the body to know that it's completely and utterly safe so that it can relax and release and we can go deeper into the stretch. And the gateway to telling the body that we're safe is through the breath. So keeping these breaths nice and long. Relaxing the shoulders. So we're not pulling down on the strap, we're just using the weight of the arms to find the stretch. And you can adapt as the body releases a little further, maybe bringing the leg a little closer towards you. If any thoughts of the day so far or the rest of the day begin to creep into the mind, as they always do, just bringing your attention to them, going, nope, not right now, you're going in that box. I don't need you right now, I don't need to focus on you right now. What you're focusing on is your own body and your own experience in the moment. So checking that this stretch is about 60% intensity. We're not finding a really deep, fiery stretch. We want to encourage the muscles to switch off, remember, in our yin yoga practice. So we want to find it about 60% and then staying there. And over time the muscles will begin to relax. And we'll go further into the joints, into the drier tissues of the body. And this is so healthy for your joint health. There's so many different ways of keeping the body healthy and happy, but joint health is so important, particularly if you're doing lots of workouts. You really want to keep those joints healthy. And yin yoga is a perfect way for that. Just a few more moments here. Take another full breath in. And gently releasing the strap, full breath out. Just bring the leg down to Shavasana. Let go of the strap, the palms face the sky. With the eyes closed, notice how one leg feels different to the other. Does it feel longer? Does it feel freer? Do you feel a little hum or buzz in the places that felt tight before? Deep inhale. And exhale. We'll go to the other side. So strap comes around the right foot, extending that foot to the sky. Taking whatever option you had for the opposite leg that you had on the first side. And then taking the weight of the arms to help find the stretch rather than pulling down on the strap. And we breathe. Connecting back to your intention for today's practice. Accepting whatever comes up, whether that's in physical sensation or whether there's any busy thoughts that come up through the mind. Accepting that they've come, putting them in that helpful box, and then letting them go. One of the things I love about the yin yoga practice is it's such a nice gift to give back to your body. Just to have this time of stillness and to breathe deeply. It's such a nourishing and loving thing to do for yourself. And often we put other things in front of self-care. And this is when fatigue and worry and stress comes into the body. And giving back to yourself, treating yourself like the person that you love most in the world, is such a nice and important thing to do. Letting the jaw relax, maybe even having a little inner smile. It doesn't have to be a big grin on the face. Just a lightness in the body. Knowing that you're giving back to yourself and that you totally deserve it. And then take another deep inhale and exhale. Releasing the strap and bringing the leg back down. lying in a mini Shavasana. Notice how the leg might feel similar or different to the other. Notice the blood and that warm, rushing feeling going back to the parts of the body that felt tight. Take another inhale. And exhale to roll onto one side, pressing into the ground with the hands to come up to sitting. Now for this next one, this is where the cushion might come in handy. So just have it nearby. Take the strap into the right arm and dip behind you. So right arm comes behind the back, left hand comes behind. I'm sure you would have done something similar before. And then begin to walk your hands in. So this is what the arms are doing. With the legs, I'm not mirroring you, I'm doing the same arm as you, just so you know. So the right leg comes in cross, in front with the crossed legs. If you don't feel the stretch in the hip, then you can take the right foot over the left knee. If you take this option, just wiggle your left foot further forward as well. If you don't feel the stretch here, you've also got the option of going knee over knee. And if you don't feel the stretch here, you can also lean a little further forward to get the stretch into the hips. If you find while you're sitting upright here that this is quite stressful on the lower back, just take yourself to a bit of wall and sit up against the wall so that you can relax the shoulders back a little bit. So loads of options. We want to feel an opening in the heart space, in the chest, a stretch in the shoulders, and also a stretch in the hips. So you're targeting a lot of areas in this one. Closing the eyes once you've found the place that works for you. Continue with those deep breaths. Focus in on whatever sensations coming up in the body. And once you've got settled, just closing down the lower ribs so you're not letting them flare out to the front. Closing them down, relaxing the belly and the lower ribs. We won't stay here that long. But if you feel at the end of the practice that this stretch really worked for you, then it might be worth revisiting it and just staying there a little longer. Take another full breath in, full breath out to release the strap. Take the weight into the hands behind you to release the legs and just windscreen wipe them from side to side. And all these little transitions from one pose to the other, it doesn't mean that you kind of switch off and then go to the next pose. Be really mindful of these transitions as well. Notice how the body shifts, fluctuates, changes, and whatever comes up for you. We'll swap to the other side. So it's the left leg in front or left foot over right knee. If you take this option, wiggle that right foot further forward or knee over knee. And it's the left hand that takes hold of the strap. Hand comes to the sky, reaching the right hand behind, and then begin to walk those hands in. Closing down their eyes, settling into the pose. So if anyone has any lower back pain or tightness, then the glutes that we're stretching here are so important for releasing the back. Often if the glutes are tight, then it puts a lot of pressure on the lower back, and it's the lower back that begins to hurt, but actually it's the glutes that need stretching. So if that's true for you, then just know that you're doing a really nourishing good thing for yourself. Coming back to your intention. Focusing in on your own body in this moment. If that's the only thing you take away from this practice, then great. Five more deep breaths here. And gently releasing the strap, placing the weight into the hands behind you, windscreen wiping the legs, being slow and mindful of the transitions. And then coming to a comfortable sitting position, taking the cushion and sitting on that if that feels helpful, maybe sitting up against the wall. Arms relaxed somewhere heavy and comfortable in the lap, and the eyes are closed. I'm going to leave you here in a short meditation. For the next few minutes, enjoying this quiet place. Enjoying whatever sensations come up. And enjoying this stillness and calmness in your day. I encourage you to stay here for as long as you can, resisting the urge to rush off your mat, ignoring those thoughts that you need to do more, that you must go and do your next thing on your list. Just really indulging and relishing in this moment for yourself. It's been a pleasure practicing with you. Thank you so much for joining me. I wish you a pleasant and lovely rest of your day. Thank you. Namaste, people. Enjoy your day.